Okay, welcome to the first MyDMX Scan Library Editor video tutorial. In this lesson, what we would like to go over is the general layout of the Scan Library Editor and some of the various options that the program has. And we'll go through a quick walkthrough of how to create a LED profile. So you can see we got the Scan Library here. Then we're going to be using as an example the MicroWash RGBW DMX traits. So we'll just maximize this. And for future reference in this video, left clicking is that little red icon, right clicking is the blue icon. So this is the Scan Library Editor. This is all your information right here. This is a untitled file as of right now. Library type, moving head, no channels yet. Lamp power, lamp type, beam angle, pan angle, tilt angle, pan speed, and tilt speed. What you do is you put your mouse over this moving head icon here, click it, and now we can adjust the type of fixture that we're going to create. Since we're making an LED fixture, we're actually going to not use the LED one because that's just a bar. We're actually going to use conventional and choose it to a power can. There's different style power cans in here as well. So we'll leave it as power, and we can adjust the size in centimeters if we wish to, and we can also enter in the weight if we know it. You can adjust the size of the fixture. This is mainly just for the 3D. And now you can below the manufacturer information, fixture, power in watts, a reference type for the lamp type itself. If you're using an LED, you really don't have to worry about the color temperature of the output of the fixture, which goes all the way from 1000 all the way up to 22,000, which is anywhere from 1K to 22K. Just pretty broad spectrum for color temperature. Choose the beam angle right here. So we're going to leave it as 16, which is the default for now, and choose between spot or wash. Since this is an LED wash light, we're going to choose wash. Click OK. I can actually open up the manual and just double check the beam angle of the fixture. And it's 6 degrees. So what we can do is go back into this and adjust it down to 6-degree beam angle. Oh, it's very fine for the mouse. So OK. And so we can see that the first channel mode is actually going to be one channel mode in the manual right here, which is all these color macros. And what I've actually done is I've actually gone ahead and created a individual file for the color macros. I'm going to load that file up right now. It's going to be called as a dimmer. The effect type is going to be dimmer, which is right here. Just because otherwise the colors won't show in the 3D visualizer if it's just a free channel. So you can see I've got all these colors made here. And you can make these colors either finding one in one of the presets for Lee, Roscoe, and GamColor that has the color index number if you're looking at it in one of the catalogs, or you come mouse over it and it says the name of the color. Or if you even know the values of the color, you can go over here, this window here, and color mix it. And then you can take this color and simply drag it and drop it. So let's actually, we'll go ahead and go back to our Untitled. And what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this from this file I've already made over to Untitled, paste it, and that'll be mode 1 for the RGBW wash. So mode 2 is 2-channel, which gives you the macros, and then a dimmer channel. So this could actually be reset to a color channel by going here. And here's all the different channel types you can have in the ScanLab editor, which is pan and tilt, rotating the drum of the mirror for a roller type fixture, moving it up and down, from vertical to horizontal, and then the rotation speed of the mirror. And there's color wheel rotation, dimmer, gobo wheel, gobo rotation, gobo index, gobo shake, and gobo wheel rotation, iris, zoom, shutter channel, focus, frost, speed, like pan and tilt speed or CMY speed or color mixing speed. There's prism rotation, prism indexing, lamp functions such as lamp on, off, reset, filter, which is the CTC filters, smoke or fog, RGB, CMY, and white and amber. Now the white and amber function is really only supported in the SSL2 file types, so this isn't something that is fully supported in MyDMX as of right now. So, but you can see below all of these have attributes down here. So RGB or CMY obviously can be color mixing to make your color presets. There's pre-made popular color filters. There's the dimmer channel icons, which is dimmer linear, dimmer simple, dimmer pulse open, and dimmer pulse close. There's gobo icons for pretty much a whole slew of icons. Some of these are custom gobo icons that I've made specifically for American DJ and Elation fixtures, such as some of the nice gobos in the Elation Platinum Spot 5R, which you can see here. You can, like you just saw, you can mouse over a gobo and right click it and view a much larger image of the gobo that you're going to see in the 3D visualizer. And sometimes if the image is too large for the preview, it just shows part of it like that. Something, double worms, popular gobo. We have iris icons, which is iris simple, iris linear, iris pulse open, iris pulse close, zoom icons, shutter, shutter open, shutter close, shutter close with the pan and tilt position moving, strobe off, strobe flash, which is the random strobe, focus, frost icons, These are all the prisms that you can choose from. Rotation icons, like even if you have color wheel rotation or global wheel rotation or actual global rotation where it rotates the global image, all those icons are basically in this one section right here. Here's speed or tracking, lamp functions like I showed you just a second ago, the filter options, just filter linear, filter simple, drum options, smoke, and question mark, which gives you a whole slew of other icons that you can use if you don't know the exact function of the trait that you're making. So color macros for either CMY or if you use fixture manual, it doesn't tell you the color and you don't have the fixture in front of you, but you need a profile, color 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. This is blackout all wheel change, where if you have a function on your light that if the color wheel is changing, the fixture will black out the shutter until the color wheel stops where it's going, then the shutter opens up again. Enable split colors, general macro buttons, auto, manual, sound active, a whole bunch of different sound active icon options. Icons for preset shapes that you can create or that are pre-generated for you in most of our softwares. Size icons, other different, all the same icons that you can use from the other presets, but if they don't have actual effect on the fixture in the 3D visualizer, then you can use them here. That way they don't affect the 3D. Anything in the question mark section has no effect over the visual output on the 3D visualizer in our programs. But if you were going to shutter, and use this one, that's going to make it strobe in the 3D. But if you go to this shutter strobe icon here, that's not going to strobe in the 3D. So you really have to be careful which icons you choose from which section for your desired effect when you use the 3D visualizer when you're programming. Alright, so let's go ahead. This is actually, since we're still on mode 1 here, we gotta rename this one back to dimmer. That way we get a good color output. Alright, so now we can create a new mode. I'll copy this one. We'll paste it here. Switch it back to the color channel. Take a dimmer here. Drag it there. You'll notice that you can't exactly take other, strobe and bring it there, anything like that. You'd have to actually go to this one here and drag the icon over. So since this is a dimmer, we'll use dimmer linear, and you'll drag it over here. And you can see that it allows you to select, if you only have one icon, obviously it's going to use the whole channel. So 0 to 255. This fader here lets you adjust the default value of that. So in some of our programs, if you hit the shutter open, it's going to grab this channel and throw it at the default value, which is light output at 255. It's full intensity. You can right click the channels to display the properties and select the minimum and maximum values for dimmer intensity, which is 0 through 100%. Allows you to, say if you only had a dimmer that only, let the fixture at like 5 or 15 or 20% minimum, so sometimes you can do like that. So that's mode 2, as of right here. So we're gonna add another mode here, which is RGBW. So we take our RGB here, drag it over. You can see that we don't need to add any presets to these, because the program does it for you. And now we need a white channel. So we're going to take that and drop it there. delete the amber part. Click on properties and make sure that it's set to white. So black to there. If you wanted to make it amber, we would click on this one, which is full level, and make it amber. Since it's a white channel, we're going to leave it on white for now. And click OK. So that's mode 3. Let's go ahead and create mode 4, which will be 5 channel. So we could basically copy this channel if you want. Go over to mode 4, click and drag, and then paste the channel that we had in the previous mode, and the properties will stay the same. So it's still set to white. And now we need to add a master dimmer, so we can go ahead and take this, put it over there, and open it up, click our dimmer preset, and drag it and drop it. Very, very simple. So you can see there's a 6 channel mode here. Yeah. Oh, 8 channel. So we skip that one. We go over to 7 channel. Scroll over here. That's mode 5. Yeah, RGBW. So take this. Back here, find our white one. Copy it. Paste it. So now we have RGBW. Add a dimmer. I'm sorry, not the dimmer. Go back to mode 2. Copy our colors. Back to mode 5. Go back to here. Hit paste. Check that it's where we want it. So mode channel 5 is color macros. Now we need to do a strobe channel. Let's throw that in there. Open it up. What's cool about this is we can, if we don't have to take one icon, drag it over, take another icon, then drag it over, we can actually hold down Control, select shutter open, then select shutter strobe. You can see that both these are now orange. Click our mouse once more, drag it over, let go of Control, let go of the mouse, and it places both of them in there. And all we have to do is go in and readjust the size. So you can see that we can just simply stretch this up or down however we want, and then it's going to keep the the 2 presets in place. Or what we can do is simply go over here to the number, double click it, and so we see on channel 6, 0 to 15 is nothing, which would be shutter open. We hit enter, and so now we just modified the channel by entering the values ourselves. So now we got that. We can even go back to mode 4, grab our dimmer like we had before, copy, and paste. And you might notice that some of these channels give you the option, if you right click, to fine. One thing we can do with that is we can create like some fixtures have 16-bit RGB color mixing, which gives you red fine, green fine, blue, then blue fine. So which is fine channels is basically, if you're thinking about it in terms of like pan and tilt, pan and tilt, each value is pretty much like a step between, in the gears for the motors, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the fine channel lets you go anywhere between 1 and 2. So it's an in-between step. So it's very fine motion. And we can choose any channel to be a fine if you want. We can also choose to see the light beam assignment. So if you have a LED bar fixture with multiple LED sections, can assign certain RGB channels to different light beam outputs. But again, that isn't yet supported in my DMX, so we're just going to leave that out for now. So hit cancel. One other thing you can do is two preset mode, which for example would be something kind of like maybe one of our Revo series fixtures where channel 1 determines the state of the presets in channel 2 or 3. So, like on a Revo series, there's a function on channel 1 that puts it in pattern mode, and then there's a function above that that puts it in chase mode. So if the values for the chase mode were different for the pattern mode, but both are controlled by channel 2, that would be a 2 preset mode, and you can now create that in the profile, which is something that's very neat to do. Alright, so moving on, we have our 7 channel profile here. We're going to go to mode 6 and do 8 channel mode, which gives you all these nice little built-in programs. So once again, we'll do RGB, and we'll just copy a white over in here, paste. See, we have RGBW. Now we have our color macros, which we can copy from here, paste it. Now we have 5 channels done so far. Now we have back to the shutter strobe, which we can also copy once again from here and paste it. And now channel 7 is actually some sort of like built-in program mode. So what we're going to do for that, since that really doesn't have much effect in the 3D visualizer because we can't really program that into the 3D. So we're going to take a free channel and drag it over and make it channel 7, and we're going to we can either name it mode like it says in the manual, or we can just do functions. I like to capitalize. So click on that, now it's a function channel. So what we can do is what I like to do for color adjustment, which means basically just lets you do RGB mix. I like to just use one of these icons, which kind of shows you the color mixing. So, and we can just simply rename it RGB mix. So you can see it's a question mark. That means it doesn't have any direct effect over the virtual fixture in 3D. As an example, you can see that these have shutter icons. That means it's going to open up the shutter in the 3D. It's going to strobe in the 3D. This one here, it's got this icon here, but it's not going to have any effect, which is the question mark. So now we got color adjustment. Now we have dim to bright. And since it's not quite like a pulse, we're not going to actually use the dimmer pulse functions. We're just going to use the question mark functions. And what we're going to do is do dim to bright would be kind of like a close or open to close to open. So we'll just do this one right here. Then we'll do another one. Then we'll do random, since we don't really have proper icons for these 3 functions right here. Dim to bright, bright dim, dim bright dim. So what you can see, this is kind of throwing it at its own values for the channel. So we're going to want to change that. So 0 through 27 is the RGB mix. 28 through 55 is dim to close. 56 through 83 is the dimmed bright. So since we don't have any other icon below dim random, we can't adjust the lowest value because it has to be something there. So what we're gonna do now, so to represent 3 color, 7 color, I'm just going to use color numbers. So 3 color is color 3, 7 color is 7 color, 3 color auto mix would be something kinda like this icon. So I'm just gonna throw that there. 4 color dimmer. Just going to use the number for that. Then 4 color auto mix. We will just use the auto icon. Now sound active mode. I like to use the speaker, but you can use the microphone or music or the other icons that we have in here. So now we got that channel done, but we might have to rename some of these. So what we can do is, like for example, 56 to 83, we'll pick where we left off is 84 to 111, 112 to 139, 140 to 167, and 168 to 195. 196 to 223, 224 to 251. So this is either we can drag it up one or just type in the number. And again, these the sliders positions here it's picking the default value for you, which is basically just the median number in between these two values. So the middle number between 196 to 223 would be about 209, and you can adjust it to whatever value you want to. You can also type it in here if you want as well. So now that we've got those, you can either rename any preset, but I like to keep the original names because sometimes it might mess with the button compressions when you generate some of these profiles in some of our programs. So, but for some of these, I'll do a 3 color mix. 3 color. Seven color. See, scene color mix 3. That's actually going to be 3 color auto, just like it says in the manual, and do 4 color mix. And we'll keep, we'll change the name, auto mix, 4 auto mix. So that's how we do that. So like I said, you keep seeing all these question marks here. That just means it's not going to have any actual effect over the 3D fixture in the 3D visualizer. So now we got our functions mode. Now we can just add a dimmer channel. Open it up. Click this. Drag it. Don't know why I'm having trouble with that right now. And done. We've now created a 6 mode fixture profile for the American DJ Microwash RGBW. Now to save these, so as of right now it's untitled, it's not saved or anything. If you're making a huge profile, I suggest saving it periodically. The scan library editors are very stable software, but everybody's computer is different, and sometimes just crap happens. So it's always best to just save it, because if something crashes on the program, it has no autosave. So you just make sure you occasionally click up here, click save as, save it to your desktop, and you're actually going to want to save it as library files.ssl 2000-2006 format, because the SSL2 format is not for my DMX at this time. So if you save it as SSL2, you're not going to be able to use it in my DMX. It won't show up in your list. So what we can do is micro wash RGB W. And we don't have to do mode 1, 2, 3, 4, because what it's going to do, as soon as I hit save, it's going to generate a file for each one of these different modes. Oh, that's weird. You have a light beam position grid here for if you had like a multiple segment RGB LED. But like I said, my DMX doesn't support it right now, so it's not a function that you have to worry about at the moment. So click OK. So now it's saved. And if you look at our desktop, we have microwash mode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and mode 6. And that's basically the general overview of